That's all right. That's all right. Shit, I don't fuck. I'm winning anyway. I'm winning. I'm winning any motherfucking way. I can't lose. Shit, you can shoot me, but you can't kill me. Yeah.
For sure, I ain't gonna know I'm a demigod, man. You can't get me.
Where'd you get the demigod thing from?
Kratos, bro.
One of the craziest things I've seen in the last few years was a documentary by a content creator named Trap Lord Ross. It was called Jacksonville's Deadly Gang War. Charlemagne the God from the infamous Breakfast Club morning show often says the craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. Being a Florida resident, born and raised, I actually used to get offended by such statements. My belief has been that there are crazy people everywhere. They just tend to glamorize and exaggerate the crazies in Florida more than they did for the other 49 states of America. I acknowledge my bias on this opinion though. Even with my biased opinions, as I have gotten older and the stories have become more prevalent and bizarre, I have started to somewhat agree with the overall sentiment about Florida crazies. Sarcastically, of course. The documentary from Trap Lord Ross details some of the most horrific, bold, gruesome, and downright inhumane acts of young teenagers. Murders in broad day with witnesses around, kidnappings, home invasions, toddlers being killed in drive-by shootings, as well as a complete disrespect and mocking of the dead. Two of the central figures in this wild documentary included Julio Foolio and Youngin Ace. Now I won't get into summarizing the brilliant work of Trap Lord Ross, but one specific incident from this documentary stands out since the recent assassination of Julio Foolio.
Right now, JSO is searching for whoever fired the shots that killed 3 teenagers and sent a 4th to the hospital.
JSO says the shooting was not a random act and that one of the victims and the survivor are gang members.
Keontae Bullard, known as Youngin Ace, is the sole survivor of a quadruple shooting not far from the St. John's Town Center. His 3 teenage friends, Trayvon Bullard, Royale Devon Smith Jr., and Jacoby Deshad Grover, were killed. Ace's friend spoke with Action News Jax anonymously.
Yeah, they killed 3 people, but one of them still alive, so wherever they come back from.
Now me, I couldn't imagine not being able to celebrate the birthday of a friend or a brother in peace because we might have people specifically tracking our location and whereabouts, looking to murder us. Not only was Youngin Ace, his brother, and 2 friends targeted this way, but after this tragic incident, Julio Foolio would take to social media and the booth bragging about and celebrating the death of these young people. I take no sides in something like this, so I won't fail to mention that a dear friend of Julio Foolio was murdered in his home prior to that incident. The escalation of eye-for-an-eye murders and disrespecting the deceased members of rival gangs has become so profitable within the music industry. The exploitation of Black Death is the huge red wine stain in the middle of the living room floor on a white shag rug. The news media, the record labels, and most importantly, the fans are all complicit in making this red wine stain larger and larger than it really has to be. I will absolutely admit that some of those drill music songs are live as hell. I found a few tunes stuck in my head that I'm trying to forget. The Who I Smoke track by Youngin Ace and his homies was dope to me until I knew and realized the severity of what they were talking about and rapping about in that song. I felt completely ignorant because I was bobbing my head to the destruction and celebration of people from my own community. all in the name of a good beat and a catchy hook from a movie I saw once. I myself was ignorantly complicit. The fact that Julio Foolio was assassinated in damn near the same fashion as the 3 teens in the car with Young and Ace lends some people to believe that this was simply poetic justice. The man was out celebrating his birthday, dropping videos of his location, surrounded by loads of people, knowing full well he had a history of being shot at on multiple occasions, one as recently as last October. There was an interview where he called himself a demigod, claiming that he could never get got. There's also a song where he referenced a family member who practiced the craft of voodoo, which would prevent him from being touched. Since his murder in the Tampa, Florida area in the parking lot of a hotel, no less, we know this mindset and multiple other actions cost this 26-year-old his life. Now, most listeners will believe that my statements are purely judgmental. If you fit into this category, you would be wrong. I do think that most of these young kids from neighborhoods like Julio Foolio and Young and Ace are completely ignorant. I don't consider it to be completely their fault though. Like I've stated in previous videos, a lot of these young teens and young adults have watched their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins attempt to do things the right way by being an upstanding citizen in this country. They've watched those same people they love remain in poverty and downtrodden circumstances while working full-time jobs that pays them pennies on the dollar essentially. These teens see that image of being a murderer or a killer who can make a good song is much more celebrated, popular, and lucrative. They view this lifestyle as a legitimate avenue to get away from their circumstances because of the financial incentive. They keep killing and bragging about it, and the fans just keep watching. The hot content creators keep calling them in for interviews and paying them top dollar to talk about their beefs, which raises their profile and popularity. I find this to be extremely sad that so many people know this truth, but remain complicit in this cycle of ignorance. At the end of the day, what do I know? This country has a 34-count convicted felon running for the highest office in the land. If that's not ignorant, I don't know what the fuck is. Deuces.
I know the song went crazy. They Who I Smoke went crazy. I'm mad as fuck.
Oh yeah, they was on a golf course, man.
Like,
I'm gonna tell you, man.
Crazy. I'm like, damn, what I could do? I go to Miami. I was already going through my comments. They were like, man, they were sending me a bunch of songs to read me. They saying Miley Cyrus, Part in the USA. Imagine me rapping on that shit. Part in the USA. They saying Michael Jackson beat it. They saying all type of shit. But what stuck out to me was When I See You, Mariah Carey. Or whoever saying that shit, Fantasia. Did that song, I first listened to it in the studio. I'm like, damn, some niggas finna be mad. So I get back to Jacksonville. I go get a poster printed out of the situation, the news clip with his dead homeboys on the shit. I get like 2 bottles of cheap ass champagne or whatever. I go to the graveyard, I shoot the video, and I drop that bit.